How you doing, Mr. Hanna?
I'm doing well.
You're running for state senate.
Yes, in 41st Legislative District.
Why is that?
Well, the primary reason that I'm running is because feeling that we need passionate, we need effective leadership in our district, in our city. And it's not to say that the representation that we have currently is not effective, it's not passionate, it does not do what the will of the people is intended. So my intention on running, and the reason that I'm running, is because Senator Gladden right now has done the best that she can do. But we feel like there's a need to do more. Our communities are suffering, whether it's from crime, dilapidated housing, whether it's from all types of issues, funding, and lack of fiscal oversight in our community. So that's the primary reason that I want to be the next senator in the 41st District.
And what legislation would you be focused on?
Two primary pieces of legislation that I'll be focused on. One is the enforcement of audits at the state level, whether it's money that trickles down into the city. Part of what we see is that we see a lack of fiscal oversight at the city level, but that also is a lack of that oversight at the state level when it comes to funding that comes to the city. So if those funds are being audited, then we can force the city to do some audits. At that point, any agency that receives state money should then be audited. That's one piece of legislation that I would actually enforce. And then also looking at minority development opportunities.
Okay, well, what about that meeting we had at Park Heights?
The meeting that we had in Park,
does that have anything to do with your run? There was a meeting in Park Heights regarding the racetrack, slots, impact funds, and there were a whole bunch of people, and they were all asking, where's the money?
Absolutely. We have seen, and this goes to my first point, we've seen $22 million go through one community in Northwest Baltimore with no oversight and no accountability. And the current senator sits on the board that oversees this funding. So we've asked, why have you not conducted an audit of this money? We're talking about in the Park Heights community. Why have these funds have not been audited, and why have you not been more vocal about what's going on in that community?
Well, it would say to me, when you don't speak out against something, then you must be okay with it.
It's not
unless I'm wrong.
Well,
the number's 481-1010. Please call in if I'm wrong.
Well, and I would challenge Senator Gladden to say, what have you done to and for the people in Northwest Baltimore in the last 8 years, let alone the last 15 years?
Oh, you got to be careful taking on a state senator, Lisa Gladden. I mean, she came in and she unseated an incumbent in Barbara Hoffman, and that was kind of like Muhammad Ali knocking out Sonny Liston.
Well, I think that is the problem that a lot of people have with elected officials, is that most people have that fear of going against the incumbency when ultimately everyone should have a right to run. Everyone has that responsibility to do what their communities need. And if our elected officials aren't doing it, then we must do it.
So the seat doesn't belong to anybody.
It belongs to the people.